Hey, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Rod Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, today is Thursday, October 7th, 2021, and I'm going to be very, very brief in this video. I'm here, trying to uphold my commitment to being more consistent and dedicated to this channel. Please, as you all chime in, man, please leave a comment, man. Let us know where you watching this video from. And also, as you come in, please hit that like button for us. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down button. It makes no difference. But anyway, I'm gonna be very brief. I want to talk about probably the greatest comedian of our generation. Definitely the greatest comedian in the last 20 years, and that's Dave Chappelle. How many of y'all saw that the new Netflix special with Dave Chappelle called The Closer? I must admit, it was not as funny as I would thought it would be coming from Dave Chappelle, but at the same time, it was very deep. Dave went deep. He went hard in the paint, y'all. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest that you do. Because Dave Chappelle, being who he is, um, not having ties to corporate sponsors, not having his hands tied when it comes to being loose and free to say what he wants to say, is really Dave Chappelle is really a unique uh, character. Because again, he can say what it is that 90% of us really want to say, and no other entertainer can can say what Dave Chappelle said in this special and not get canceled from this cancel culture. Again, if you haven't watched it, I'm not gonna tell you all of it went through. Let's just say he went hard against the LGBTQPRS SWV people. Yeah, he went hard in the paint on a on a man. And hold on, let me see. We're gonna put these comments up. Hey, Miss Annie, how you doing? Dream again. Information. What information you need, my brother? Dream again. Um, yeah, I'm just being brief, man. I'm tired, man. I had a real long, hard day, but I just wanted you all to, if you haven't seen the Dave Chappelle Netflix special, The Closer, I highly suggest that you all watch it. Dave is crazy, man. But again, this one here was not as funny as you would expect or you would have liked it to have been from Dave Chappelle. But he was able to talk about some serious topics, especially when it comes to the fact. Remember how I did that one video when they first started counseling the baby? And remember how I said you could say nigga in your music thousands of times per line, per bar, and nothing happens. But as soon as you say something about the LGBTQPRLNOP people, they're gonna come after you. Now, I myself definitely am not homophobic. I do believe that just as they have a right to their beliefs, their lifestyle, I also have a right to say I'm not with that. Yes, if they have a right to adopt kids and raise them according to their lifestyle, I have a right to teach my son that to this is not an acceptable lifestyle in as far as being a man, you know. And that's the way that I raised my son. I'll let him make his decision. And hell, I'm gonna be real. If my son was to make that choice and say, because no matter what you say, it is a choice. You're not born that way. And I'm not here to offend anybody, but I'm kind of like Dave Chappelle of information. I'm not finna bite my tongue, man. You know, if you disagree with what I say, let's have a discussion about it. Don't try to shut me up. And see, that's what's happening now with this cancel culture. People are not able to have so much information from the other channels about to go live. What's your information for from other channels? Well, I really don't have that much information tonight. Like I say, man, Dream again. I'm just um, I just felt that I needed to bring a live broadcast tonight, and to me, this was one topic because I watched the movie. I mean, I watched the stand-up special earlier today, and um, it's gaining traction. But going back to what I was saying, that you have a right to say what it is that you want to say, long as it does not incite violence. So, as these people have a right to put their agenda out there, don't I have a right to protect my family from that agenda if I'm not in agreement with it? And again, like I was saying earlier, what's happening today is that people no longer want to argue their points based off the facts and the merits of their point, because most time they don't have facts on their side. They don't have um, the moral high ground to even try to bring up an argument. So what do? They try to shut you up, as opposed to having meaningful dialogue so that you all can come, two people or two groups can come up on an agreement or even agree to disagree. They would rather just cancel you altogether, through whether it be through scandalizing your name, you know, basically trying to go after your livelihood. See, we live in a generation of cowards. Nobody's willing to talk their agreements out anymore. Is if you don't agree with me, especially when it comes to liberal people, if you don't agree with them, they're not going to try to argue the merits of their point. They're going to try to shut you up so that nobody can hear your voice. And once they take away your platforms, your livelihood, your voice, that only leaves their message in the forefront. See, this is what they depend on. They depend on bullying you into silence. But y'all know me at the Real News Behind the News, just like Dave Chappelle. I don't have any sponsors. So I can say what it is that I want to say. And I'm not deliberately saying things that deliberately offend people, but I say these things because they need to be said. Even if I'm wrong, at least, peace out, Dream again. Even if I'm wrong, at least dialogue with me. Tell me why you think I'm wrong, because I'm gonna be more than willing to tell you why I think I'm right and why I think you're wrong. But again, we don't do that in today's society. We rather scandalize people. Again, we rather just not deal with the facts, and emotionally, people are basically emotionally defunct today, because their emotions block better judgment. The only way you can really understand something is to talk about it. But again, we live in a council culture where people no longer want to talk, you know. But again, I want to suggest that you all watch that video, that special Dave Chappelle, The Closer, on Netflix. And we'll talk about it more in greater detail tomorrow. Again, I'm just here, right now just to oh yeah, Space Juice. And notice this. Dave Chappelle is unapologetic. Now we like to look at LeBron James and other people as icons for our community, but pretty much every person that said something about them Jews were bullied by those same Jews into recanting and apologizing publicly. You think Dave Chappelle finna apologize? No. And again, you have to realize Dave Chappelle is in a great position because he's not beholden to any studio, to any corporation, to any group of sponsors. So he can say what he wants to say, and guess what? They're not finna mess with his money because Dave can lay off for another year and not do another concert. He already got his money, but he can come back in a year, and all his followers, all his fans, is gonna support him. So that the witch hunt is already on. You've had a couple of LGBTQ organizations to come out and try to get the world to denounce Dave Chappelle, but ain't nobody finna really denounce that man because again, he's only saying what I would say 80% of the people in America feel. Like I say, do you realize the LGBTQ community is a minority? Not saying minority like we are called minorities because their whole struggle. I get offended when they try to equate their struggle with the struggle for of black people during civil rights. Two different things. We were born black, but if you was born with a penis, you are a man. If you was born with a vagina, you are a woman. I wonder what a lot of these trans people gonna do if they make it to heaven and you get up there and God asks you, so Billy, what did you do with that penis I gave you when you was born? What happened to the penis I gave you, man? I gave you a whole penis when you was born. The city must be doing well. Haven't talked about it lately. That's great. Well, I just get tired of talking about the problem here in Shreveport. We all know the problem. Negroes are killing Negroes. People, I mean, they're just Negroes killing each other. You got whites killing each other. It's just crazy here in Shreveport. And I decided not to give any more credibility to the negative. I'm going to try to focus on finding and implementing solutions as best that the Creator give me to help our people. It's not doing nobody good here. You know, you got a couple of local quote unquote street reporters here. That's all they do is report who got shot or whatever. Notice when they had that prayer vigil at Southwood High School here in Shreveport, where all those kids, they had all those gang fights, like 3 days in a row, 14, 15 students got arrested. They was posting that all up and down anybody's timeline that would listen. But when those students came together a couple of days after that and had a prayer rally and tried to bring healing and peace to their school, where were they at then? Not even a mention on their social media platform. So I'm taking it upon myself to try to promote a more positive culture. You know, then you had these people say, well, we only just tell them what's going on in the hood. Well, guess what? We know what goes on in the hood. We live in the hood. Tell us how to stop these things in the hood. Before you know it, not gonna be able to live without that shot. Well, that's another thing. Actually, now they got a pill that I forget. I think it's Moderna. But one of these companies got a pill out now that's supposed to help in the fight if you get COVID. And but you know what? The pill it costs them only $17 after it's manufactured. $17. They selling it for $700. I put an article up on a Real News Behind News Facebook page how 3 of your top executives from Moderna is basically this year alone has been elevated to some of the richest people in the country. And again, that vaccine, in my opinion, is forcing of people to take the vaccine. We're just gonna keep it this way because I have to be diplomatic in the way I say this because I don't want YouTube to block this channel. But I believe it's nothing more than a ploy by our politicians to reward their corporate donors, and in this case would be the pharmaceutical companies and their executives, with a transfer of wealth. Now, the study coming out saying that at the most, these vaccinations work only 2 months, if that. So now you're mandating that people take a vaccine where in 2 months that vaccine wears off. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna say on that. That in itself tells you that, you know, it's 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 a game being played. Because again, if a person has already had COVID and overcame it naturally, their body is basically more prepared to fight off any future infections than somebody with the vaccine, because their body naturally produce the antibodies that's needed to fight this off. So if that's the case, if you've already had COVID, you fought it and beat it, why would you be mandated? Would it be mandatory that you take a vaccination when your natural immunity is stronger than the vaccination? Because again, these vaccinations that come out in a new article today. At the most, they last 2 months. They lose their effectiveness after 2 months. Yeah. But again, I'm not gonna keep y'all, man. I'm kind of tired. I want to go get some rest so I can try to make this day tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be rested up. Whereas tomorrow night I'll come to you all with Friday Night Live broadcast, and we can talk about more and more topics. But as you all watch this video, if you come in watching it after I leave the air, how do you think them officers will handle that supposed to be got bullied in Texas in schools? I heard about that story. A young man supposed to been bullied and he took a gun to school. How you think they're gonna handle it? I mean, even though he was bullied, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sad about that, but he handled that the wrong way. He has to be dealt with according to the law. And that's how they're gonna handle that, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, bullying is a very, very serious issue. But when we was coming up in my generation, growing up in the 70s and 80s, we had a cure for bullying. It's called whoop their ass, or at least stand up and fight for yourself. Now, guess what? He's going to go to the penitentiary, and he's damn sure going to get bullied in the penitentiary. You can't hide from a bully, man. My advice is to teach your children how to protect themselves, how to stand up for themselves. I mean, because they're going to face bullying. I mean, even when they're an adult, just like say, look at the LGBT community. They bully anybody who has a message counter theirs. So bullying is going to, you're going to have to face bullying, throughout your lifetime if you're a weak person. Raise your children to be strong and to show no fear in the face of bullies. But yeah, that's what's going to happen with that young brother. He's going to basically, he's going to do some time. He's going to do some time. Unfortunately, that's how the system works. So, again, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, man. Let me go ahead and try to get me something to eat and get some rest in. But I just did this out of love for the channel, and to show y'all that I am committed to making this channel. I believe by Christmas we're gonna have at least 2,000 subscribers, and by this time next year we'll be up to 5, maybe 10,000, because really it's all up to me to be consistent, and it's all up to you all to share these videos, to hit that like button, or even hit the dislike. Long as you're engaging, be it the shares, the likes, the dislikes, the comments, this keeps the channel, the algorithms that would normally suppress this channel, once they see that this channel is getting traffic and it's getting traction, YouTube itself will allow it, because they want more views. Even if the subject matter that I talk about is controversial. As y'all notice, I've really pretty much limited the cursing that I've been doing, so that I won't be offend a lot of people who back in the day I really wouldn't give a crap about offending people, because I'm a firm believer if I start being who people want me to be, I will cease to be who God created me to be. He created me to be this boisterous and loud for a reason. And the reason being that he knew that such a time in my life, I would be bringing y'all the real news behind the news. So, hey, y'all have a blessed night, man. I'm sorry to end this so abruptly, but it is what it is. What y'all think? Do y'all think, Dave? Y'all watch that special and tell me what y'all think about it tomorrow when I come back, bringing you all some real live information. So until y'all see me tomorrow, man, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you get notifications every time we get this video. We do a video, a broadcast. Please hit the like, share button. Also, if you really like what we do here, please, I keep saying it, hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal. Help me out. Hang tight. That 3.5 trillion finna pass. That 3.5 trillion, even if it passed, man, it is not for us. Because you got to realize only 1/10 of that, only a 10% of that 3.5 trillion is going to even slightly benefit the American taxpayer who got to pay for it. If that 3.5 trillion dollars, they not finna give us $2,000 a piece, but yet at the same time they trying to give Israel another billion on top of the 3.5 billion that they already gave them. It's not. I mean, it's all grandstanding. $3.5 trillion. Somebody got to pay for that. So if they give you $1,000 right now, a stimulus check, guess what? You're gonna pay 10 times that over the next 20 years in taxes. We already almost at $30 trillion in debt. Do you think we in America can stand another $3 trillion? I don't think so. So again, I thank y'all for joining me, man. I really love you all's support. You all's comments are probably the most important part of these broadcasts. Also, again, I'll say one more time, please help us out. If you like what we're doing, all it takes is 10 people to donate $5. We be good. So until y'all see me tomorrow, man, I hope y'all have a wonderfully blessed night. Have a prosperous day tomorrow. Y'all be blessed.